Everybody, Mike here at BuK Dragon Boat, and we are at our Wildwood Florida trim shop here. And as you can see, we've got some boats that we need to get some work done on. But in the meantime, I've got a paddle order I'm going to fill. So I thought I'd do a little short video about the Gray Owl High Performance paddle. We still distribute these paddles, and I know everybody's got their fancy carbon fiber paddles, but this is actually a really great paddle, a really great introductory paddle. After all, wood is Mother Nature's composite, so in fact it is a composite paddle. It's going to be a little bit heavier than your typical carbon fiber paddle, but not that much heavier. And if you need a paddle that's just for training, for example, you don't want to use your carbon fiber paddle because you know the schmuck behind you is whacking your paddle. This Gray Owl paddle is an economical way to have kind of a little bit of a spare in your closet. So I'm going to size this paddle, and I bet you I've sized 10,000 paddles in my Dragon Boat career, but so this is 10,001. Again, a Gray Owl high performance paddle, and the way you can, they've also got a club paddle, and the club paddle, you can tell it's got 5 laminations across the blade. This high performance paddle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 laminations. It's also got a laminated shaft, so you've got a white ash core and poplar edges. So it's just a lighter weight paddle than the club paddle, which has a solid shaft, and that gives it a little bit more weight, maybe not as comfortable. But this high performance paddle, we sell a ton of them still every year. And I've sized a bunch already, but I'm gonna do this last one just to show you what's involved. It's not a big deal. If you ever buy a paddle, you don't know what size you want, you can buy one of these paddles with the grip separate, and then you can size it yourself. And I'm going to show you how. Here we go. So the first thing you want to do is you want to cut the paddle to length. If you want a 48-inch paddle, for example, you're going to cut the paddle to 47.5 inches tip to your cut, because the grip is going to add about a half an inch to the length. So again, anytime you pick a length, 46, 47, 48 inches, you're going to subtract a half an inch, and that's the length you're going to cut your paddle. So this paddle, I don't even know what size we need here. We got one more paddle to cut. It's going to be actually a 44-inch paddle, which is probably about the shortest paddle you would cut for Dragon Boat. So what you want to do, you want to just measure out not 44 inches, you want to measure out 43.5 inches. So that the final size of the paddle with the grip is going to be 44 inches. So here we go, 43.5 inches. I've got a jig to do this, by the way. I'm just doing one paddle, so I measured it out. But here we go. So we have 43.5 inches. Now you want to, when you're, and we're going to use epoxy to glue this grip on. Definitely the best choice. Epoxy is gap filling. It's also the strongest glue you can use on wood. But the issue here is we got some varnish on the tip of the shaft here, and we just want to sand away that varnish, again about a half inch down. So you've got not only the glue surface on the top of the shaft, you've got this glue surface around the circumference of the shaft at the top. That's going to help this. It's going to help this grip glue securely and essentially be there for life. So quickly, got a little belt sander here. Right, so all I did is a very slight taper, and took the varnish off. You'll see that I didn't go down more than about a half an inch, even a quarter inch is fine. And now I've got a nice glue surface, bare wood surface for the epoxy to grip. Okay, so next step is I've got some epoxy mixed up here. You can see I'm putting a steering arm together, so I've got some leftover epoxy, and that's why I decided to do these paddles. I better hurry because I see it's kicking. So this is thickened epoxy. We thicken it with Cabasol. And what you want to do is get the epoxy all the way inside the grip here. It's starting to get thick, so I better hurry. But you don't want to put it, you want it all the way up the sides so that when you drop it on the shaft, you're going to have glue all around the circumference. And then what you also want to do is you want to put some epoxy. You want to put some on the top. Again, just to, you need quite a bit to fill the gap. And then you're going to pop the grip on. And these grips generally fit not super loose, but just loose enough so you can pop it on. Sometimes it's a bit tight and you gotta tap it down with a soft face hammer. But then you wanna do is you put the blade down between your feet and you're gonna push down to distribute the glue. Maybe give it a little twist, back and forth, pushing down, and then you're gonna line up the shoulders of the blade with the long edge of the grip. And once you've done that, you just make sure it's lined up. Okay, take a look. Now sometimes, in fact most times, you're gonna have a little bit of glue that's coming out the top here. And that's actually a good thing because that means the entire void between the grip and the paddle is full and the glue's has nowhere to go but out. But you know that when you wipe that away, just like that, over on the other side as well, you're gonna wipe it away. And that's about it. And then just a final check that you didn't move the grip, still lined up with the blades. And then you just want to set it aside. I would just leave it overnight if you're using epoxy. And then you've got a grip that's essentially gonna be there for the lifetime of the paddle. So you can purchase these high performance paddles from our online store. You can email us or call me. And we'll get it sized for you. If your team wants a whole set, we have bulk pricing. But again, the Gray Owl paddle, been around forever. It was the original Dragon Boat paddle up until about 2001 when carbon fiber started coming into the market. But like I said, I still sell a ton a year and there's good reason. It's a great paddle. Thanks everybody.